Give GPT-5 a long context benchmark, and it scores 0.1%. Change nothing about the model, wrap it in one architecture, and the same weights score 58%. Same model and same benchmark, and the only thing that changed is where the context was sitting while the model worked. That architecture is called a recursive language model, and the mechanism is one sentence. The model never reads the context at all. It writes code that reaches into it. Start with why a bigger window was never the lever. A model has no memory between turns, so a context window is a desk that gets rebuilt from scratch every time, and the intuitive fix is a bigger desk. A bigger desk doesn't fix what breaks. Attention spreads thin across a long prompt, and the middle gets skimmed rather than read. That's context rot, and piling more onto the desk makes it worse. The paper's move is different in kind rather than in degree. It stops trying to fit the desk into the model's head. The prompt, however long, loads as a variable inside a persistent code environment that stays alive for the whole task. The model writes real code against that variable. Search it, slice it, filter it, count it, the same way you'd explore a file before reading the whole thing. When a slice needs judgment rather than a pattern match, the model calls a smaller instance of itself on that slice alone. That's the recursive part. A language model calling a language model, from inside code the first one wrote. The subcall only ever sees its own slice. It can't see the whole document, and it can't see what any other subcall found. It answers, and then it's gone. So the root model only ever holds what comes back, never the slice itself. Once it has enough of those small answers, it stops running code and returns one, wrapped in a tag the harness recognizes as finished. And because the model never has to hold the whole thing, the input can run past what its own window could ever fit. The paper measures this working at up to 2 orders of magnitude beyond a model's native context on their test documents. It's also genuinely recursive, rather than one flat layer of farmed-out work. A subcall is itself a full RLM. It can decide its own slice is still too much and launch further subcalls one level deeper, which is where the name comes from. The 58% from the opening ran at recursion depth 1. Push it to depth 3 on that same benchmark, and the score climbs to 76%. More recursion pays off in a measurement rather than in theory.
One honesty check before anything runs. We did not reproduce the paper's benchmarks. That needs real recursive model calls at real cost on their exact evaluation sets. What we built is smaller, the actual control flow, running for real, so the shape is visible instead of described. We generated a synthetic log of 1,400 lines and 9,809 words, with exactly one line buried in the middle marked unresolved. Everything else is routine noise. The root script never reads the log. It splits it into 14 pieces and dispatches a subcall on each until one comes back non-empty. Those subcalls are a deterministic stand-in for the model rather than a real one, so this is a mechanism check and not a benchmark result. It found the record on the 8th chunk and stopped there. 7 other chunks were dispatched and came back empty first. That's real recursion with the wasted-looking calls left in, rather than a cherry-picked run. Across those 8 calls, 5,665 words got touched by something. What made it back to the model that answers the question was 16. That's a context 613 times smaller at the exact point the model has to reason, on a toy example with a stand-in subcall. The paper's numbers are bigger, and they aren't toys. None of it works without one dependency the paper doesn't hide. The root model has to be good at writing code, because every hop through that environment is a program it authored on the spot, and a bad program means a bad slice. That's why the paper tests this on coding-capable models specifically, GPT-5 and Qwen 3 Coder, rather than a general chat model with no tool use track record. And in the paper's own reference implementation, every one of those hops runs sequentially. No 2 subcalls fire at the same time yet, and there's no prefix caching benefit. In the author's own words, an individual query can run anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes, with no built-in guarantee on total cost or runtime per call. And pushing recursion deeper to chase the higher score, like that jump from 58 to 76%, means more subcalls stacked on more subcalls. The accuracy curve and the cost curve move together, so nobody gets the higher number for free. There's a failure mode neither the cost line nor the paper's limitations section spells out in these words, so name it now. If the root's chunking strategy puts the answer in a slice, it never dispatches a subcall to. That miss looks identical to a correct empty result. Nothing flags it.
The objection worth taking seriously is the obvious one, and it isn't ours. Strip the paper's language away, and an RLM is a model calling submodels over chunks of input inside a loop. That's retrieval and orchestration, and this audience already builds that. The paper doesn't dodge that comparison. CodeAct with subcalls is a named baseline in their own results, and it's exactly the agent loop pattern the objection describes. On the median across their benchmarks, RLM beat that baseline by 130%. Same shape, submodels and chunks, and a loop, and the specific mechanism still wins by that much. It also beat Claude Code's own agentic file reading approach by 13% on the median, using the same underlying model on both sides. It isn't only a spend more to win trade either. On a code repository question answering task, RLM scored 62% against the base model's 24% for 2 cents less per query. On a retrieval task across 1,000 documents, it scored 91.3% against a 70.5% baseline, at 99 cents a query against an estimated $1.50 to $2.75. It won on accuracy and came in under budget. And it doesn't only work bolted onto the biggest model available. The paper fine-tunes an 8 billion parameter open model on 1,000 recorded RLM trajectories, and as an RLM, it beats its own untuned base by 28.3% on the median across 4 tasks. That small model, run as an RLM, gets close to vanilla GPT-5's quality on 3 of the 4 tasks, at roughly 60 times fewer parameters. One more thing to know before quoting any single number out of it. The authors have revised the paper twice since the first post, tightening results as more came in. And the loudest claim about it in public came from a company that sells the inference this pattern burns more of, which is a fact about the claim rather than about the technique. The paper itself never claims to have solved context rot. It frames the whole project as a question. Can inference time scaling push context handling 2 orders of magnitude past a model's own window? It answers yes on its own 4 tasks and says nothing about every other task there is.
Step back from the paper for a second, because the move underneath it isn't new at all. Software solved this exact shape of problem for memory long before language models existed, and it didn't do it with bigger boxes. It did it with indirection, pointers, pagination, one thing standing in for another so nothing has to be held all at once. It's the same shift a database made going from scanning every row to reading an index. Nobody called that a bigger table. It was a different way of finding the row without touching the ones around it. So the question to carry into whatever you're building isn't how much context you can afford to send. It's which parts your system holds and which parts it queries, and whether anything in it can go back for a second look partway through. That's also what separates this from ordinary retrieval, even though people will reach for that comparison. Retrieval typically fetches once, before the model starts reasoning. These subcalls happen live, decided by code the model writes as it goes, and it can go back for another slice partway through. The grade then, a real technique that beat its closest agent loop baseline by 130% on the median, running on an early implementation that hasn't earned the word finished. The mechanism is done. The plumbing around it isn't, and the missing pieces are caching, parallel subcalls, and a real cost ceiling. If you're building something that has to run for a long time, this is the direction to move in now, with the latency and the cost priced in rather than hidden under the headline. And when somebody ships parallel subcalls and a real cost ceiling on top of it, that's worth coming back for. Stay in the loop.